Welcome to our conversation on navigating job interviews and avoiding those critical verbal pitfalls. It's all about mastering your interview presence and turning potential missteps into winning opportunities, yeah?
Absolutely. It's such a dynamic topic. Always room to improve how we present ourselves and avoid those um, trap phrases that can derail the conversation.
So let's kick things off with one of the big ones. I don't know. Now, we all might have a brain freeze sometimes, but in an interview, simply saying, I don't know, can really leave a negative impression. It can suggest a lack of initiative or reflection. Instead, try
Mm-hmm.
something like, That's a great question. Let me think for a moment. Then walk through your reasoning.
Right. It's like, even when you're not 100% sure, showing your thought process really does more for you than dismissing the query outright.
Exactly. And speaking of responses, there's also the notorious I'm a perfectionist. In theory, it sounds appealing, almost a compliment to your high standards. But in practice, hiring managers have heard it so many times that it might come off as uh, insincere.
Yeah,
Instead of just labeling yourself, sharing a concrete example can make your point hit home much better.
that makes total sense. I think sometimes saying I'm a perfectionist without backing it up with details might even mask a weakness rather than showcase a strength.
True. Now here's one that really can raise red flags. I hate my current boss. It's almost a surefire way to make an interviewer wonder about your professionalism and ability to work with
Uh-huh.
others. Instead, pivot that discussion by saying you're looking for new challenges or a fresh environment where you can really thrive.
Absolutely, venting about past workplaces usually isn't the best strategy and can risk coming off as bitter.
And then there's the claim, I don't have any weaknesses. We all have our areas to improve on, right? Honestly, denying any weakness might signal a lack of self-awareness. It's
Mm-hmm.
far better to share a genuine area you're working on and then explain how you're actively addressing it.
I get that. But I sometimes wonder if bringing up weaknesses could backfire. What if the interviewer dwells on that weakness?
That's a fair point, but it's all about balance. You explain it as an area of growth and then immediately highlight the concrete steps you're taking to improve. It shows resilience and learning spirit rather than vulnerability.
Yeah, kind of like turning a potential flaw into a success story.
Exactly. Moving on, let's tackle the question, what does your company do? Believe it or not, asking that in an interview
Uh-huh.
implies you haven't really done your homework. Instead, come armed with knowledge about the company and ask more insightful questions regarding their projects or company culture.
Right. That shows real interest and preparation. It's a pivot from basic awareness to deep engagement.
Speaking of, consider this pitfall. I'm just looking for any job right now. That statement screams
Yeah.
desperation. Instead, indicate specific interest by aligning your goals with what the role offers.
It's all about positioning yourself as someone with a clear vision, not just someone who's desperate to get hired.
Precisely. And then there's the silence killer. I don't really have any questions. An interview should feel like a two-way street. Not asking questions might hint at a disinterest in the role or
Mm.
company. Prepare thoughtful questions in advance, like asking about team dynamics or upcoming projects, to really show how engaged you are.
I love that approach. It not only conveys interest, but also demonstrates critical thinking about your potential future with the company.
Now, a truly dangerous phrase is, I'm not a team player. This one is a big red flag. Regardless of whether you actually prefer working solo sometimes, it's important to emphasize your ability to contribute to a group setting.
Yeah,
Explain how you balance independent work with collaboration and share examples that highlight your adaptability.
teamwork is definitely a cornerstone nowadays, so saying you're not into it could knock you out of contention, no doubt.
Exactly. And then there's the question about growth. How soon can I get promoted? While ambition is cool, asking that too early might imply you're more interested in climbing the ladder than making an impact on the role you're applying for.
Uh-huh.
It's better to express excitement for the responsibilities at hand first, then later inquire about growth opportunities once you've demonstrated value.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like prioritizing contribution before ambition, right?
Right on. And last but not least is the salary blunder. I'm not really sure what my salary expectations are. Entering that discussion without doing your research can signal unpreparedness. Instead, have a range in mind based on industry standards and your experience, and be ready to explain why you believe it's fair.
Knowing your worth is key. Researching beforehand shows both confidence and professionalism.
So to sum up, the key takeaway here is that every word you say during an interview matters. It's not just about avoiding these pitfalls. It's also about strategically turning those potential negatives into positives by preparing thoughtful responses, showing genuine enthusiasm, preparedness, and self-awareness across the board.
Absolutely. And one thing, I got to respectfully challenge one of our earlier points. While saying I don't know can be risky, sometimes it's better to admit uncertainty rather than bluffing an answer. What do you think?
That's a great point. Sometimes admitting that you're not sure can be authentic if you immediately follow it up with a logical thought process. The key is to make it clear you're reflective,
Right, exactly.
not clueless. It's about the delivery and the follow-up that really matters.
Yeah, and it goes to show that these aren't just absolute rules, but guidelines on how to navigate complex conversations. Each instance can be an opportunity, depending on, how you handle it.
Well put. It's like a dance, balancing confidence with humility, demonstrating your expertise while showing you're eager to grow. And that ultimately builds the trust that interviewers are looking for.
So, preparing for an interview is really about doing your homework, practicing your responses, and being ready to pivot any potential missteps into compelling stories about your skills and experience.
Exactly. Every interview is an opportunity to showcase your best self, invest in your presence, be confident, and always be ready with a positive spin for those tricky questions.
Great insights. This really underscores how crucial preparation and awareness are. When you know which phrases to avoid and how to answer them instead, you're already a step ahead.
For sure. Be mindful of your language. From simple responses like, I don't know, to more nuanced ones like discussing your strengths and areas for growth. It's all part of showing that you're the right fit for the role.
Yeah. And it's empowering for candidates to realize that a bit of self-reflection can elevate an interview from average to outstanding.
Absolutely. So take the time to practice, research, and refine your narrative. That way, you turn potential pitfalls into opportunities that present you as thoughtful, prepared, and most importantly, confident in your capabilities.
I couldn't agree more. Confidence, preparation, and authenticity are the keys to mastering any interview. Thanks for such an engaging discussion.
Thank you too. And remember, every conversation in your interview journey is a chance to build your professional legacy. Stay sharp and best of luck out there.